spit hot fire.
I'm God, bitch!
Look up in the sky, is that a goon or green goblin? None of the above, it's a motherfucking dragon. Super Saiyan 2 to a cell, no problem. You put me in a cell, then you got
Bow down, nigga. I'm God, nigga.
What's going on, world? This is your boy Troy, and I'm your friendly neighborhood NGTOW, and I am absolutely 110 and 12% your friend. So today we're going to talk about something savage. You know, it took me a while to come around and watch a pretty good movie. It's been out for a while now, maybe a year or so. And it's one of those movies that I always wanted to get around to watching, but I never really could. I don't know, I just never did. But last night I saw this movie, and what can I say? It's probably one of the most savage, one of the most masculine, right, movies. Be honest with you, I've ever seen. So without further ado, what are we talking about? We're talking about the Gray. With Liam Neeson's. What can I say? The premise is pretty simple. A bunch of guys on, I believe, like an Alaska oil pipeline or something like that. You know, somewhere out in the middle of fucking nowhere. And apparently they're on the plane back to civilization, plane back home. And plane crashes, and so it's pretty much a classic man versus wilderness story. But yo, just first of all, let me just comment on some things. The cinematography, the way some of the things were shot. I mean, it was just even in some of the. There's a lot of just, heart-pounding moments in there, It really shows how savage the wilderness can be, and how really how strong men can be. And so obviously, this is more of a thriller type of movie, but instead of like a slasher flick or something like that, it's done with wolves. So the main antagonists is this pack of wolves that's just constantly going at, well, really not just wolves, but just nature itself. I mean, if you watch it, the way that my brain interpreted this thing was just real. There was a scene where, someone's dying, and, normally, in movies when someone's dying, you can kind of hear the orchestra, you can hear the stuff in the background music, and it's very, it's very like serene, or it's very like epic. But, there was a scene where this person was dying, and all you could hear was blizzard, just straight blizzard. He's pounding on his chest, you gotta work, but all you can hear is just whoosh. And I'm like, yeah, that's how it would sound to die in a blizzard like that. That's real, Another scene where wolves are just tearing this dude apart. I mean, it's really one of those movies that, to be honest with you, it's one of those movies that kind of made me feel like a bitch, I mean, here I am sitting in, air conditioning and heating and, watching televisions and, talking on screens and whatnot. And, we got me thinking about my normal day to day and, how good we have it and I have it. And, how sometimes it's like, man, I don't want to get up. Let me be honest with you. Like, sometimes like, man, I don't want to get up and do this video, or, I don't want to get up and work out, or I don't want to get up and, do this and that. But, it's one of those things where, when it comes to nature, it's like, nature itself is very unforgiving. I honestly think that, and something else I wanted to talk about was there was this scene where, they're all by this campfire or whatever, and they're telling stories, and it's a real male bonding moment. It's something that really, that only men can relate to. They talk like men talk, you know. There was humor, like there were some lines in there that had me cracking up, like it was like it was a comedy, but it wasn't. Like it was just real. Like it was just this oasis of humanity in the midst of just chaos, of nature's madness, you know. But you know, it kind of got me thinking, and you know, it really shows you, you know, in this movie, it really shows you what I call the spirit of man, right? It really shows you like what could happen, what men, and I really mean this, what men are capable of when shit hits the fan. You know, when shit hits the fan, everything's going crazy and haywire or whatever. There's something within us. You gotta understand, if you're a man, there's something within you that can respond to the situation. Now, I know that, you know, we're softer than they were, you know, back in the day, and then, or you know, you know, the city folks, or, you know, how we live in our civilized cultures, and, you know, how, you know, just, you know, there's just some savage people out there doing some savage shit. But, you know, it really is one of those things where, here's what I'll say. For those of you that say, you know, men and women are equal and this and that, I want you to watch this movie, right? And I think it starts out with like 10 men or something, like just 10 men. And I want you to watch this movie, and I want you to ask yourself, what would happen if it was 10 women in the same situation? That's all I want you to do. What would happen if it was 10 women in the same exact situation? Could the movie play out the same way? I pose hell no. There is no way. You know, they're like, it got me thinking, like, when, you know, men were civilizing just the world, right? When men are building things and clearing, and this is across all cultures, across all races. I mean, just men. When men are out there braving the wilderness, you know, just forging ahead, fighting nature, fighting the elements, you know, the women and the children, that like, look, there's a reason for why, in a weird way, and Gavin McInnes talked about this, and I never really understood why he said it, but kind of watching this movie, it kind of really helped me understand a lot more about where he was coming from when he says, you know, women are optimists. Pretty much they're optimistic. And, you know, it's almost like they are, and he put it a lot more eloquently than I can put it, but, you know, they're a lot more, not risk averse, but, you know, pretty much, you know, when shit's hitting the fan, or, you know, when things, when things are going bad, how, you know, okay, let's look at society now, right? How it's going down, and, you know, things are changing, things of that nature. You know, there's still this part of like women that it's like they don't see the reality of what's going on. Now, if you watch the video on, there was a previous video when I talked about how men and women see reality, and women they tend to not see the reality of reality, right? You know, when all this shit is happening, and you know, shit is, you know, all this shit is going crazy, women have a tendency to just kind of like, oh, you know, it'll be okay. We'll be fine. There's plenty. I mean, that's kind of like why the welfare state is the way that it is because women are, which get the vast benefit, the vast majority of all the resources. Well, there's always going to be more resources. There's always going to be more taxpayers. There's always going to be more, you know, wood. I mean, so like when I think about these things, I think about, you know, back in the day when, you know, civilizations are being forged and, you know, men are out there just grinding, just, you know, killing lions and whatever the fuck men had to do and kill and, you know, had to make peace with, and the women and children were just in the village like, well, you know, they'll handle it. I know we're a little bit hungry, but they'll bring a mammoth back, or, you know, they'll build the thing that we need. They'll build the wall. Like, we'll be okay. We'll be fine. That's kind of their job. And, you know, it's just something that, like I say, as men and hardship and things of that nature, it's something that is within us, something that we are built for, something that as a man you are built for, you know. Something else that I wanted to touch upon, and I'll probably keep this I'll keep this video kind of, I'll say, relatively short. But there's a scene in there where, you know, numbers are dwindling down, and they're, you know, there's not too many of them left. They're walking by this river, and one of the guys, I think he tweaked his ankle and his knee, his whole leg is just kind of busted up, and, you know, he's kind of limping along behind everybody else. And he, you know, he finally kind of happens upon like a log right by the river, and he's just like, you know what, I'm done. Yeah, he gives up. You know, he says, I'm done. You know, the guys are trying to rally him up, like, come on, let's go. You know, we can still make it. There could be a cabin right over the ridge. And he's like, nah, bro, like, I'm done. You know, and you know, so, you know, they're kind of doing the back and forth with that. And he says something that I thought was very interesting, you know, as he's kind of sitting down, as he's going to sit down on this log, he says, you know, I just had the most beautiful thought. And it's interesting because I remember asking myself, and you know what, I had so much going on in my head, maybe I missed it, but I never heard what that beautiful thought was. I don't think he ever really said what that beautiful thought was. He said he had the most beautiful thought, and it's something that we've never heard, and so he's sitting on this log, and, you know, he's kind of accepting his fate, and, you know, he's looking out, and, you know, in the distance there's this mountain and the trees and the stream and everything of that nature, and it really is it's a beautiful, and it's just a humbling scene, you know. And this dude, you know, he's sitting there, and I'm really kind of wondering what that thought would be. And if I had to take a guess, you know, if I had to, yeah, how do I say it? I really don't think that there is a way to really guess what he says, but that it really kind of got, okay, let me put it this way. It really got me thinking, you know, what would somebody like that have really wanted in life? You know, let's say that someone like that had a kid, or somebody that that person can go home to. What would, you know, this person want for the next generations coming in life? You know, for as far as a vision of the world. You know, and I'm thinking that one of the things that, you know, could have went through his head is just you know, what I'll say, creating a world where the beautiful thoughts that he could not express could still be expressed, right? And so let me just delve a little bit deeper into that. You know, we're here now because previous, you know, our ancestors, regardless of white, black, whatever, we're here because they survived and they forged ahead. You know, I can only think that, you know, somewhere where, you know, before, you know, the roots of civilization were planted, you know, how many of our ancestors have walked through the woods and had thoughts that are never gonna go, that are never gonna come to light. You know, how many of our ancestors have gone through absolute shit and horror, you know, praying for the day that somebody in their line manifests the thoughts and the beauty that they probably knew that they would never experience. I mean, let's take it maybe a little bit personally here, but you know, I mean, obviously, if I'm here, so I'm African American. There's a transatlantic slave shit in my you know, in my heritage or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, how many what ancestor, how many ancestors were carried over on ships and, you know, just eating rats and, you know, just shitting on themselves or whatever. But there were probably still moments of serenity. You know, there were probably still those calm nights where, you know, just like a flicker entered into somebody's head, and they thought to themselves, like, man, that's a beautiful thought. That's a beautiful concept, but that's a concept that I'm never going to bring to life. I'm going to push forward, and I'm going to push forward so that way, hopefully one day, somebody in my line, somebody can manifest this thought that I have. You know, I mean, how many, you know, we think about our ancestors, how many of them just got fucking, you know, I don't know, whipped and just torn to shreds and really, you know, pushed forward and you know, manned up. And I'm not talking about that shaming tactic that bitches use to try to get, you know, dudes to, you know, look after their single children and, you know, single mothers and shit and take out the trash. But I mean, really digging deep and manning up. You know, it's almost like all that beauty that they wanted to express couldn't be expressed because they're too busy doing, you know, man shit. And now here we are. We, gentlemen, are the descendants of those men. We live in a society now where we have the opportunity to make those beautiful thoughts come to life. We have the rare and very unique opportunity to manifest the dreams and beauty of generations past. And you know, if we had just a modicum as men, overall as men, if we had just a sliver of the same courage that all of our ancestors had, we can make that beauty manifest in this world, gentlemen. You know, it's really one of those things where, you know, like I say, you know, all of our ancestors come from a place where, you know, they overcame hella shit. You know, like I say, fighting wolves and, you know, facing the elements and extreme heat and extreme cold and blizzards and everything of that nature. And, you know, now here we are and we have that opportunity, but a lot of us, we don't want to do it because, oh, I don't want to lose my job. Your fucking job. You know, your ancestors' job was to, like, I don't know, fucking kill wolves and shit like that. Bare hands and fucking bow and arrows and shit. And you're over here afraid like a bitch that you're gonna lose your job at some place that you don't even want to fucking work at in the first place. You know, I mean, it's like, but that's the rub. That's the rub, you know? So, I mean, with that, I just want to encourage you, you know? And so, like honestly, man, like I say beauty, but, you know, it's not one of those things where I'm talking about bitch shit. Like, I'm not talking about putting fucking flowers on a goddamn wall. I'm not talking about, you know, fucking,
oh, the beautiful, let me put a vase right here because I just think it's gonna go great with the fucking wallpaper and it's just gonna be great.
No, I mean actual beauty, gentlemen. Like when you go, I was just talking with one of my friends, and you know, he was telling me that he went up to Yosemite, you know, Yosemite National Park, and he's, you know, first time he's been there. It's weird how, and it is weird how, you know, most Californians have never been to Yosemite. You know, people come from all over the world. People make it like their life dream to come to parks like this, and we're here and we can go anytime, but yeah, we still don't. But you know, he says he goes up and it's just beautiful. You know, when you just see the mountain ranges and you see the trees, and you know, maybe you go and there's a full moon over Half Dome or something like that, and you know, you see like just plains full of just grass and things of that nature, like that. Like that's part of the beauty that I'm talking about, gentlemen. And we have a unique opportunity to take that beauty and to make something of it now. We have that opportunity to take what not even what Mother Nature has given us, but what our ancestors commanded from Mother Nature, to build where we're at now, so that way we can take that to the next level. We have a unique opportunity, gentlemen, and I don't know how much longer that opportunity is going to be here. Now, some of it is on a macro level, maybe, you know, societal collapse and all kinds of, you know, I don't know, but even then, we're here now. You know, I mean, we're here now, and we're not going to be here forever. So we only have a finite amount of time to make all of those dreams, not only our dreams, but the dreams of our ancestors, and in some ways the dreams of our descendants come true. But yeah, that was my take on The Gray. I thought it was a good movie. I'm probably gonna watch it again. I mean, hell, you could watch it on YouTube, you know. You know, with that, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for coming through. You know, my name is Troy. If you want to support the channel, just want to give a like at least. I mean, give a, you know, thumbs up, comment below. You know what? What I want you comment below on what you think. Give me a beautiful thought. You know, share a time that maybe you saw a sunset, or maybe you know, something, you know, just something, you know, share, comment below what a beautiful thought for you was, or a time that maybe you had to really overcome some grizzly wolf shit, you know. But head on over bullsh.com. I'm gonna have great articles. If you want to support the channel, head on over to the Troy Mason Exchange, or get the Menlightenment Manual. It's the #1 self-discovery tool in the world, bar none. Lifetime money back guarantee with that. And with that, look, I'm your boy Troy. I am your friend, and I will see you on the other side.
The dick was good. But it's not the problem, though. She said the dick was so good that as she started rocking, she just got into it, and all of a sudden, she said something just hit her, bam, all upside his head, just slapped him. Dick will make you slap somebody. So y'all need to remember that. That's what I'm trying to deal with. The fact.
More like concept hated, cause you know I do not take shit. Maybe I may give shit. Give this misfit. Like a small condom on this dick. Words are like bullets, and my bullets go ballistic. Beat hit hard, Ray Lewis, hold a hit stick.
You gonna get this